want to take me? What's that? Regarding this, he did inform me that he said his client didn't have the tape. I would call his client on the stand to testify under oath his knowledge of the recording so that we can get on the record his knowledge of that recording, since that is pertaining to his motion at this point. That way we at least know what he knows for the record.
What recordings?
Your Honor, my understanding is this is the same recording Your Honor has already released two witnesses from testifying about, which would be Jeff Fletcher and the custodian of records at the Sheriff's Office. That is an incident in which Jeff Fletcher arrested Mr. Parsons following the meeting of the grand jury. So I think Your Honor's ruled on two other witnesses to quash it. In any event, Mr. McCoy says he doesn't even have it.
Your Honor, if I may interject, actually, they've subpoenaed two recordings. That is one, and the other one he's subpoenaed is an alleged assault by Ms. Mills on Mr. Parsons, and he doesn't have that one either. Those are turned over to the Sheriff's Office.
Both of those alleged events, I know the recording where Mr. Parsons was taken into custody after capias was issued was some 10 months after the event here on trial. And I believe the recording where Mr. Parsons alleged that Ms. Mills did something out in the hall, I don't know what, but was even after that. So the motion to quash with regard to Mr. McCoy having to remain under subpoena for produced recordings he doesn't have will be granted. I think Mr. Parsons indicated yesterday that he did in fact get the recording in the mail after saying that he did not get it in the mail. But I believe he indicated yesterday on the record that he did receive the disc in the mail.
Your Honor, I would object, and I would also ask the court to keep Mr. McCoy here in sight of the fact that he would be the person that could authenticate that recording, since he has the authority to keep up with these recordings, and he has not been taking testimony under oath. We've only heard from these attorneys behind me who cannot testify on his behalf. I would move to strike their statements. I would move to keep Mr. McCoy on call so that when I call him, he can take the stand and testify to authenticate this recording, which he has knowledge of. That's why he was subpoenaed in the first place.
The jury is going to be asked to make a decision with regards to some events in September of 2007, incidents that occurred some 10 months and 12 months later. Don't really have any bearing. I know your position is that you were taken into custody.
My position is I was falsely charged and attacked by a man who did not have a capias, did not have a warrant. They assaulted me, and it goes to the heart and the foundation of my defense that law enforcement has attacked me through whatever motivation. That's what the jury needs to know, and I believe I have a right to present that proof to the jury. And Mr. McCoy is a material fact witness in this case, and I would move this court to not release him, to keep him available for authentication purposes of this video, as it's his responsibility as an administrator of this court. And he was in the General Sessions courtroom when the judge ordered that that document be maintained, so he's aware of it. He's aware of its whereabouts. He was a witness to it. He can testify to those facts. It's required that he be here in order to authenticate the recording.
Anything else before the jury's rolled over?
I believe he can also testify that he's actually looked at the video. It's further identification and authentication of it. And of course, these motions were made when Ms. Rebecca Mills was lead counsel appointed by Your Honor. And Your Honor trusts Ms. Mills' judgment, and I don't believe Your Honor would have objected to her making this motion. It's been a long-standing motion. The subpoena's been out there for a long time. I think if they would have felt that it was not proper, there would have been something said long before now. They wait until I'm up here representing myself to step up and make these assertions. I think it denies due process to not allow Mr. McCoy to remain in order to authenticate this recording.
The court's rule on the motion.
Thank you, Your Honor.
The jury's ready to ask the opinion. Ladies and gentlemen, appreciate you being back this morning. Anyone had any difficulty with regard to the case last night? No, very good. Ready to proceed. Call this witness, please.
Oh, Nick King. Oh, may we approach?
Couple of things. First of all, I don't appear to be petty in front of the jury, but it looks like a breakfast buffet here. This is a courtroom. McDonald's being brought in to serve. And the second issue is the gentleman that's come in with the blue blazer and the white hair. I don't know his name. He was here yesterday taking copious notes, and law enforcement officers tell me that he made numerous trips out into the hall and talked to witnesses. And at some point, I would like to be able to put him on the stand as regarding what he said and his actions there. It may be a violation of the rule here.
I would object. This is an open court. This is open to anybody in the state. If this man chooses to be here to observe, he's entitled to. If he chooses to go outside and talk to people, if he wants to talk to the DA, unless the DA objects to him talking to him, he can talk to anyone he so chooses.
Call for, and no one should be in the courtroom taking notes or otherwise going outside the courtroom to then discuss any testimony with other witnesses. That's what the rule is all about.
What rule is that, Your Honor? Please cite the rule. There may be people in the newspaper come in and record these things all the time.
Yes, sir, and they can't go out and talk to witnesses that have been excluded from the courtroom either during the course of the trial.
Well, Your Honor,
What's testified to in this courtroom?
I would call that we have the district attorney take the stand at this moment to testify under oath. If he's going to stand here and say this, he can take the stand and testify to what he knows or doesn't know, because I don't know for a fact that he's telling this court the truth, because he's been in here, he doesn't know what's been done.
I'm asking you to caution whoever the gentleman is not to discuss any testimony of witnesses in the courtroom with those that anticipate testifying during this trial that are outside the courtroom place. The court will allow drinks in the courtroom that were brought in.
Well, thank you. Yeah, could I approach him and find out his name, because I do intend to call him at an appropriate break.
I object, Your Honor.
To leave.
This is not proper.
Well, thank you.
He doesn't have to tell him his name.
Come around, raise your right hand, please. You solemnly swear or affirm testimony you give in this trial to be the truth, so help you God.
Good morning.
Morning.
State your name, please.
My full name is Nicholas Robinson King. Go by Nick King.
Nick King?
Yes, sir.
How old are you, sir?
32, sir.
And where do you live?
I live in Arlington, Tennessee.
And what do you do for a living?
I am a helicopter pilot and a mechanic for hospital wing.
And was that your occupation back in September 24 of 2007?
Yes, sir, it was.
Now, are you familiar with the Hughes Road area of Brighton and Tipton County?
Yes, sir, I am.
And do you know a fellow by the name of Burnett that lives there?
Yes, sir, Alan Burnett's my father-in-law.
And what is his address?
590 Hughes Road.
And that is a Tipton County address?
Yes, sir.
Now, directing your attention back to September 24th of 2007, where were you?
I was in our, we have a little hangar there where we keep our helicopter at.
Now, we being who?
My father-in-law and I.
And that would be at that 590
Yes, sir.
Hughes address?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What were you doing at the hangar there at 590 Hughes?
I was working on a little project we had. I was painting a couple parts outside of the hangar there, about 15 feet outside the hangar on the east side.
Now, do you know a man by the name of Barry Laxton?
Yes, sir. His neighbor lives across the street, adjacent from my father-in-law's property.
And did you see Mr. Laxton that afternoon?
Yes, sir, I did. When I observed Mr. Laxton, he was trying to shush away, look like coyotes or wolves.
You may have had an opportunity to look at a map. If I may show you a map, could we put the tripod up, please? That's it. What's that exhibit number? Exhibit number 11? Now, if that could be directed some position where the jury can see it, and I'll ask Mr. King, it may have to be closer to the jury where they can actually see it. And I'll ask if Mr. King may be allowed to come down. I'm going to ask him about relevant positions on some questions. Can you pass this pointer up to Mr. King, please? However you're best comfortable, Mr. King, whether pointing it out with that laser pointer or with your finger, as long as you don't get in the jury's way and everybody can see things.
Yes, sir.
Now, you had indicated you were working at a hangar that belonged to your father-in-law, Mr. Burnett.
Yes, sir.
And if you could point that out on this map where that would be.
Yes, sir. The hangar is right there.
Right. And where did you first see Mr. Barry Laxton?
He was standing on the hills right here, on the hillside next to the pine trees, right above the pond lines, or on the levee.
Now, do you know whose property, are you familiar with whose property that would be where first you saw Mr. Laxton?
Yes, sir. That is Alan Burnett's property.
The same gentleman, your father-in-law, on whose property you were, correct?
Yes, sir.
And what did you observe about Mr. Laxton at that time?
He was trying to yell or motion to the wolves and or coyotes and to shoot them away, and he had a rifle in his hand, firing warning shots, sir.
Okay. Now, about how far away would Mr. Laxton have been from you when you first observed him?
Good 100 yards, 150 yards.
Okay. And at that time, or at some point later that same day, did you see the weapon that he was using?
Later that day, I did see the weapon after Mr. Mike Parsons took it. I got a good eye on it.
Okay. And what sort of a weapon was it?
It looked like a little squirrel rifle, a little 22.
Okay. Now, you have described what Mr. Laxton was doing. Could you physically demonstrate, if you saw and are able to, what Mr. Laxton was doing?
He was firing warning shots that direction, up to the north, in the air, and trying to yell at the wolves to get out of there.
All right, now, if maybe with your finger, whatever, if you could show just the general direction in which Mr. Laxton was shooting at these animals.
At this time, when he was firing his warning shots? He was shooting his warning shots this direction.
And are you familiar with where Mr. Mike Parsons, the defendant, seated here at council table, where he lives?
Yes, sir.
And where is that on this map?
He lives in this house back here.
Were the shots that you first observed, well, you testified, I believe the first shots were into the air that you
Yes,
saw. Do you know, I don't suspect you were counting them, but approximately how many shots Mr. Laxton would have fired?
On the first round, maybe 3 to 5 warning shots. Yes, sir.
Now, what observations did you make later about Barry Laxton and what he was doing?
After those 3 wolves ran off to the north, right there, and then 2 others came to the south, down below the hill there.
Okay.
Mr. Laxton then moved from this area and saw me working at the hangar and walked towards me.
Now, all of this is on your father-in-law, Mr. Burnett's property,
Yes, sir.
not Mr. Parsons' property.
No, sir.
Now, at that time, did you see Mr. Parsons?
No, sir, I did not.
Okay. What happened then?
2 of the wolves came down the hill here, got off of the pond, and 1 was standing in this area here on this side of the ditch. 1 then approached to the west towards Mr. Laxton. Mr. Laxton then fired about 2 to 3 warning shots around the wolf into the bottom of the ditch line there.
All right, now, are you basing this on what you've been told or what you saw?
No, sir, what I saw.
All right, now point out, if you would, where this other wolf was that you testified Mr. Laxton fired in the dirt around. Where was the dog approximately at that time?
He was on this side of the ditch. Right, this little ditch line, there's a little creek here that runs off the overspill of the pond.
And where would Mr. Laxton have been when he was firing these shots?
He was on top of the hill here, right where this pin is in the purple.
Okay, and so it may be obvious in connecting the 2 points, but point out the directions of the shots that Mr. Laxton was then firing at the wolf.
He was then firing this direction.
Okay. Now, are you familiar with the topography or the layout of the ground in that area?
Yes, sir, I am.
Well, what you observed of any shots that Mr. Laxton, besides the ones fired in the air, those that he was directing at this time, was anybody or any residence or any location endangered by Mr. Laxton's shooting?
No, sir, there's no way. All the shots they were all down in a down angle, and they all bottomed out into the dirt there.
Now, at the time he was seen by you shooting into the dirt around this wolf, did you see Mr. Parsons?
No, sir.
What happened after you observed Mr. Laxton shooting in the dirt around the wolf?
The wolf then approached across the ditch and kind of charged towards Mr. Laxton. Mr. Laxton then fired 2 to 3 shots at the animal, and I believe on the last shot hit the animal, and then the animal turned and went out towards the field here.
Now, how far away from Mr. Laxton were you when you saw Mr. Laxton shooting at the charging wolf?
Half the distance, 75 yards, 50 to 75 yards, about 100 feet probably.
Okay. You got good vision?
Yes, sir.
You're a helicopter pilot?
Yes, sir.
You know what you were seeing?
Yes, sir.
Did you say anything to Mr. Laxton or yell anything to him during the wolf run in?
Yes, sir. When the wolf then crossed the ditch, I said, "You better do something now. He's coming at you."
Okay. Was that an honestly held belief of you at the time?
Yes, sir. But I doubt Mr. Laxton heard me. He's deaf as anything.
But you told that to him in some fashion?
Yes, sir.
How did you communicate that as far as how loud?
I just, yelled at him, loud tone voice, enough that I would think that would get to him.
Did you believe that animal was in fact attacking Mr. Laxton when you yelled that?
Yes, sir.
Did you see the wolf fall where he was shot or leave, or what happened there?
Yes, sir. Once the wolf was hit, he then turned back and crossed the ditch and ran to the east and came to rest right there in front of the house on this side of the creek.
Now, whose property was the wolf on when Mr. Laxton shot it?
He was on my father-in-law's property.
And whose property was the wolf on when it came to rest?
On my father-in-law.
Was it ever on Mr. Parsons' property line?
No, sir.
Are you familiar with Mr. Parsons'
Yes, sir.
property?
It runs along that tree line behind my father-in-law's house.
All right, if you could show that, you pointed out, I think, the house.
Yes, sir. This yellow line right here is the property line.
Now, at the time that Mr. Laxton fired the, I guess it'd be the fatal shot into the wood, had you seen Mr. Parsons at that time?
As soon as, after he fired the last shot and the wolf came to rest in the field, I heard a gunshot at the top of the hill here, and Mr. Parsons had his weapon in the air, pointed in the air when he fired his shot.
Now, at this point, can you identify in court today the person that you're describing as Mr. Parsons?
Yes, sir. It's the man right there in the black with the glasses.
The record will reflect that the witnesses identified Lieutenant Michael W. Parsons. You sure he had the gun above his head?
Yes, sir.
And if you can point out on the map approximately where Mr. Parsons was when you saw him, heard the shot and saw his hand up in the air.
Yes, sir. It's about in this area here where this, right next to the storage building, and there's a little black trailer right there.
And whose property was Mr. Parsons on when he fired the shot?
Alan W. Burnett's, my father-in-law's.
At the point he fired the shot into the air, did you hear Mr. Parsons say anything?
Yes, he yelled down some absurdities and stopped shooting his dog.
He yelled out some what?
Absurdities, cuss words,
Okay.
cussing at the top of his mouth.
Okay. And did he stay there at that location, or did he come to you?
No, sir. He then charged down the hill at a fast, brisk walk with his weapon drawn.
Okay, and just demonstrate to the jury, if you would, how he was carrying the weapon.
Down the side like this, as fast as he could.
Okay. Now, if I could, I don't know the exhibit number. There's a black handgun there. If the witness may approach, Your Honor, or Mr. Bailiff, if you'd show him the black handgun. You've been shown that handgun. Did you later get a closer opportunity to see the handgun in Mr. Parsons' hand?
Yes, sir.
And can you identify that exhibit?
It looks pretty close to the one that was pointed to my head, yes, sir.
Mr. Bailiff, could you approach it? That would, for the record, be exhibit number 1. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And that appears to be at least similar to the weapon that was shown to you?
Yes, sir.
Put that back here. Where were you when Mr. Parsons started to approach at a brisk walk or charge, or however you describe it? Where were you standing?
When I noticed him coming down the hill at a brisk walk towards us, then immediately told Mr. Laxton that he better put his weapon down before he gets here because that man was pissed.
And did, in fact, Mr. Laxton have that same .22 rifle?
Yes, he did have that in his hand at that time.
And what did, if anything, did Mr. Laxton do when you told him that?
I didn't notice at that time where he laid it, because I was then opening my truck door to pull my concealed weapon and put it in my pocket for my protection.
Now, where was your truck parked at that time?
It was right on the side of the ramp right here in the grass right there.
Okay. And what sort of a truck was it?
This is a white 01 GMC 4-wheel drive.
Is that a F-150 or?
It's a GMC model,
Okay.
full-size truck.
You say you removed your handgun or weapon?
Yes, sir. I had my handgun was in the center console that day, and I moved it out of the holster and put it in my pocket.
And did you at that time, in fact, have a handgun permit?
Yes, sir. I've had a handgun permit since the age of 19.
And that property of Mr. Burnett, your father-in-law's, did you have permission to be there, to be working on the helicopter at that helicopter?
Yes, sir. I did.
How far from Mr. Laxton were you at the time that Mr. Parsons made his charge down the hill?
How far were Barry and I from each
Right.
other? We were probably within 10 feet.
And did Mr. Parsons come close to either one of you at any point?
Yes, sir. He then approached the drive down here, and before he crossed the drive, I yelled at Mr. Parsons that he needed to put his weapon down before he approached any closer. And he kept approaching.
And what was he, Mr. Parsons, doing with his weapon?
As he approached up the drive and Mr. Laxton and I were trying to get him to put his weapon down, he immediately pointed his gun at us and asked, "Who shot his dog?"
Now, for the record, you've indicated holding up your arm at an angle of some sort. Could you describe where he was pointing the weapon as far as you were concerned?
He was pointing the weapon at Mr. Laxton and me. He was just going rapidly back and forth to each other, each one of us.
Well, to what part of the body, from the toe to the head, where would it be pointing?
Straight to our heads.
And how far, what was the closest that Mr. Parsons came to you in the pointing of the gun at your head?
Probably within a foot of my head, 6 inches to Barry's head. I do remember trying to grab up at the gun to move it out of my head, and Mr. Parsons told me, "Don't reach for my gun."
Okay. Now, you indicated that you'd already pulled your own weapon. Did you have, in fact, your weapon?
I had it in my right pocket. It never came out.
I was going to ask you, did you ever draw it?
Never.
Do you know at what point, if any, Mr. Parsons would have known that you had a weapon?
Mr. Parsons never knew I had a weapon until he trespassed into my truck and looked in my center console and found my paddle, and then he wanted to know where that gun was.
Now you described it as a trespass. Did Mr. Parsons enter into your truck?
Yes, sir.
And how did he do that?
He opened my passenger door and went through my glove box, looked under my seats, opened my extended cab, looked in all my compartments.
And did he indicate that he found something?
Yes, he indicated that he found my paddle holster.
And did he remove the paddle holster?
He took the paddle holster out of my truck.
Now, this is a paddle holster, not a weapon,
Yes,
correct?
sir.
If you could be shown, perhaps, I don't know the exhibit number there, there's a black holster, and I'll ask if you can identify that.
Yes, sir. That's my paddle holster from SovCit 40.
Now, what's the exhibit number on that? Exhibit number 2.
Exhibit 2.
Now, is that the paddle holster that you had in your truck?
Yes, sir, it is.
Did you give Mr. Parsons permission to go in your truck?
No, sir, I did not.
Did you give Mr. Parsons permission to take your holster?
No, sir, I did not. In fact, I yelled at him as I was on the phone with 911 that he was trespassing in my vehicle.
Okay. Well, that's my next question to you. You indicated that you were able to contact 911.
Yes, sir.
How were you able to do that?
As Mr. Parsons had his weapon drawn at our heads, I asked him if he had contacted the law, and I didn't give him a chance to probably even answer because I reached in my pocket, pulled in my cell phone out, called 911, and told him that I was being held at gunpoint.
Are you able to accurately judge in any way how long it was that Mr. Parsons would have had a gun on you and on Mr. Laxton?
Yes, sir, I would have thought I was accurately able to, because it sure felt like 15 minutes, and I believe I testified in 15 minutes. But after listening to the tapes, it was only close to 4 minutes.
And by tapes, have you had an opportunity to listen to some sort of audio recording in which the events that you have described are recorded?
Yes, sir, I have.
And do you hear your voice?
I do.
And do you hear your voice calling 911?
Yes, sir, I do.
And do you hear Mr. Laxton?
I do.
And do you hear Mr. Parsons?
I do.
Now, is there a video to go with the audio?
Yes, sir, I did. I did film a video for investigation
All
for
right.
Tipton County.
I'm talking about the event itself.
Oh, no, sir, there is no video.
But there is a recording that was made. Did you or Mr. Laxton make that recording?
No, sir, the only recording that we have is the 911 tape, sir.
Okay. So you have a recording which, when did it come to your attention that there was such a recording?
I guess on the preliminary hearing, Mr. Parsons said that he had a voice recorder hanging on his neck.
Okay. Now, you have mentioned that you have earlier testified at some point or stated that it was 15 minutes.
Yes, sir, it seemed like a lifetime when someone's holding a weapon to your head.
Was that an honestly held belief?
Yes, sir,
At
it
the
was.
time?
Yes, sir. I still can't believe it was, the amount of time was shorter than that.
But you will agree that the recording, if it's timed, is an accurate reflection of what was said and how long it took place, correct?
Yes, sir.
Well, however long it may be, as far as time, were you free to leave?
No, sir, it was not.
How did you feel when Mr. Parsons pointed the gun to your head?
Like one of us was about to be assassins. He counted down to us from 5 to 0, like he was going to shoot one of us.
Did you feel as if your life or Mr. Laxton's was in any danger at the point when Mr. Parsons approached and said things to you and pointed the gun at you?
I thought for sure one of us, if not both of us, were going to be dead.
Were you free to leave at the time he was there with the gun?
No, sir. He held us there, wanted us to get on our knees. Mr. Laxton got on his knees. He wanted us to lay on the ground, and I refused. I was at the point where he was just going to have to shoot us.
Well, you weren't doing what he said. Does that mean you weren't afraid?
No, sir. I was afraid. It was more of an instinct kind of thing. I was trying to remove myself, or I was trying to calm everybody down. I was trying to calm Mr. Parsons down, trying to neutralize any threats. The whole time I'm trying to get him to put his weapon down so we can talk about it.
Now, is what you testified today, is that reflected on the recording that you have heard?
Yes, sir.
Now, what happened after the period of time in which Mr. Parsons had the gun on you and Mr. Laxton and you were not free to leave? You have testified that he took the paddle holster from your truck. Did you see anything happen to Mr. Laxton's .22 rifle?
After he got the paddle holster out of my truck, he then looked in the back, and Mr. Laxton had stuck his .22 rifle in the back of my truck, and Mr. Parsons took it out of the back of my truck at that point in time.
Okay. What did you observe about Mr. Parsons after that?
He then walked out to the field to his wolf that was laying dead in the field.
Again, if you could point that out again where that would have been.
The wolf was laying right out here. Mr. Parsons walked from the ramp out to the wolf and stayed on the ground with it for just a couple of seconds to check it out. And then he picked it up and threw it over his shoulder and then walked up to his property line this way.
Okay, and show where he would have walked.
He made just a straight beeline from here to this way. And I walked side of him right in this area here.
Is that in the direction of his house?
Yes, sir. He walked towards his property line.
Was that your last contact with Mr. Parsons that day?
Yes, sir.
You testified that you called 911. Was there a response made to your call?
Yes, sir. Mr. Officer Wall came out and at that time and got a statement from Mr. Laxton and I, and then made a statement with Mr. Parsons.
Now, did you ever shoot a wolf with Mr. Parsons?
No, sir.
Did any of these events that you described happen on Mr. Parsons' land?
No, it did not.
Did Mr. Parsons have any permission to go into your truck?
No, sir, he did not.
Did he have any permission to be on Mr. Burnett's land?
No, he did not.
Did you do anything at all to justify Mr. Parsons pointing a gun at your head?
No, sir. I was minding my own business, doing my own thing. Mr. Parsons approached me, pointed the gun to my head, and threatened my life.
Now, you have testified about a certain recording you listened to, and you have stated that you recognize your voice and the voice of Mr. Laxton and the voice of Mr. Parsons. And, Your Honor, at this point, I'd like to play the recording of the event.
Objection, Your Honor. Objection, Your Honor.
Does he need to stand here?
No, he can easily see at this point, Your Honor.
Objection, Your Honor. Tape has not been authenticated to this point.
It'll have to be authenticated.
Now, we could play it again in your presence. I think it takes some period of time. Does this look like what was played for you in the sheriff's office?
Yes, sir, it does.
And is this what Mr. Parsons said was his own recording of the event?
Yes, sir.
Objection, Your Honor. The witness can't testify something he didn't hear personally as hearsay.
Objection be overruled.
We move to make this the next number of exhibit to play from the jury, Your Honor.
Be allowed.
Well, for display, we make the part of
Your Honor, I'm forcefully going to object to this because unless I'm the one that authorizes the recording, they could have any recording on there, and I've not authorized. This man is not aware of where the video came from. Take the stand and testify, Mr. DA. If you're going to testify that, raise your right hand, take the stand, because at this...
Address your comments to me, please.
Your Honor,
I'm not to oppose it.
I object. The prosecution has not properly entered this into evidence. They have not authenticated the source of it. The witness cannot testify to the source of the recording. I would move to strike that at this moment until it can be authenticated, because the DA has alluded to statements that he's heard on a recording that I didn't give him. Now, if he's got recordings from somebody else, whether it be Miss Mills or Mr. Robbins, those statements have not been authenticated. And for him to play this, he may be playing things that did not occur at the scene. He may be playing things that occurred while I was at my house or something else that had nothing to do with this event. And it's been experienced throughout this whole thing that the district attorney is going to pick and choose facts. That's a clear indication of trying to manipulate this court. And until that is properly authenticated, I would move that it be held back and not be entered at this time.
Objection be overruled.
Your Honor, I move that we hear the tape in Camry.
The request to be denied.
Where's the other dog? He done shot and killed one of them, Pat. Where that son of a bitch is down here? Where's my other dog? Where's my other dog? Where's your gun at? Drop your gun. Drop your gun. Turn around. Turn around. On the ground, son. On the ground. On the ground. You're under arrest. On the ground. I'll shoot you with your gun. On the ground. You two on the ground. Now you will be shot. 5, 4, 3, 2. Put your gun on the ground. Put the gun down. Don't come out. Turn around. Put the gun down. You're under arrest. That's fine. Both of you. Put the gun over there. No. Hey, you're under arrest. That's fine. It don't matter. I have a right. Don't put that gun on me. Turn around. Put the gun down. If you grab the gun, I'm going to shoot. Get away from the truck. Get away from the truck. Get over there. Put the gun down, damn it. Put your can down. Turn around. Put the gun down. Where's the other dog at? Hey, I don't know, dude. Where's the other dog at? Face down. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. The citizen's arrest. You're under arrest. That's fine. Put the gun down. Lay down. Lay down. Put the gun down. Lay down. Lay down. Put the gun down. Lay down, dude. Lay down. Put the gun down. Lay down. Where's the other dog? I want the other dog. Dog ran that way. Did he shoot her? I didn't shoot shit. I'm working. Did he shoot her? I'm working right now. I don't know. He was the wrong man. Put the gun down. You're too. You're witness. Put the gun down. No, you're both under arrest. I don't give a shit. Yes, ma'am. I need. You're both under arrest. I'm not in Hughes Road. I'm being told. Now, Mike Parsons has a citizen's arrest on these two. They're just they broke the law. Put the gun down. No, you. I'm in Kitchen County Road. Stay back. Where's the gun at? Where's your gun at? I found the holster. Where's your gun? Where's your gun at? Where's your gun at? Where's your gun at? Back up. Where's your gun at? Where's your gun at? Where's your gun at? Where's your gun at? No, where's your gun at? I'm not going to until you tell me where your gun is.
It's going to be in my folder.
Pull it out. Pull it out. Put it on the ground. What? If you pull it out what? If you pull it out what? If you pull it out, what'd you say? You gonna shoot me? What did you say? What did you say? What did you say? What did you say? No. You're under arrest, dude. You don't understand. You have to stop. You understand you're under arrest? You're under arrest. I do as a citizen. They've done shot one of them. She's dead out here in the field. Who are you? What's your name?
You need to lie down here now.
What's your name? Back up.
You don't worry about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna worry about it. You're gonna worry about it. Yeah, you are.
Never keep them son of bitches put up.
It's a female. What's her name? Gray. Brandon. Yeah, he killed Brandon. Yeah, come on down here in the field to get her. Bye. Where's your gun at? Don't come around this corner. Go to hell, son of a bitch. Follow me, you son of a bitch. You're going to jail. Follow me, son of a bitch. You're going to jail. You shot and killed my pet.
At this point, is the event over as far as the holding of the gun?
Yes, sir.
And that sort of thing?
Yes, sir.
And the walking away would have been Mr. Parsons walking in what direction?
Towards his house, sir, or towards the wolves, sir, laying on the field.
And at that time, did he have your holster from your truck?
Yes, sir. He had my holster and Mr. Laxton's 22.
Now, there are various voices, and the jury has had the opportunity to actually hear the voices testify. You are testifying now. There's a high-pitched, sort of a male voice, and whose voice is that?
That's Mr. Laxton.
And whose voice is it that says, on the ground or you'll be shot?
That's Mr. Parsons, sir.
And whose voice says to, did you shoot her?
That's Mr. Parsons.
And who was Mr. Parsons saying, did you shoot her? To whom was that question directed?
To both of us, Mr. Laxton and to me.
And whose voice says, did he shoot her?
That's Mr. Parsons, sir.
Okay, and you know who he was addressing that question, did he shoot her to?
To me, I'm assuming, yes, sir.
And whose voice says to somebody on the phone, they done shot?
That's Mr. Parsons.
Now, that is the entire transaction, the event, as far as recording of Mr. Parsons coming at you and Mr. Laxton and holding a gun on you at the truck, correct?
Yes, sir.
At any point during that, did it not pick up on the recording, or do you recall anything about Mr. Parsons giving any justification for his arrest of you both, other than you shot and killed my pet?
The only thing that recording is missing is Mr. Parsons' shot in the air. That tape starts after his shot and after his rampage, yelling us down the hill.
During that event, you don't hear a recording of him saying anything about bullets whizzing past his head.
No, sir, I do not.
Did he ever say that the reason he was making a citizen's arrest is that bullets were whizzing past his head? Or
No, sir, he did not.
Or that you were shooting at his family,
No,
or
sir.
shooting at him?
No, sir.
Everything was about the shooting of the wolf.
Yes, sir.
Did you shoot the wolf?
No, sir, I did not.
Did he ever indicate to you he knew even who shot the wolf?
No, sir, he didn't have a clue who shot the wolf.
And whose voice is it there at the first saying something about Burnett, son of a bitch, killed one of my dogs?
That's Mr. Parsons.
Well, are you Burnett?
No, sir, I'm not.
Is Mr. Laxton Burnett?
No, sir, he's not.
Do you know whether or not Mr. Parsons knows the owner of the property, your father-in-law, Mr. Burnett?
They met once, but Mr. Burnett was out of town at the time of the incident.
He wasn't here
No,
at
sir.
that event.
No, sir.
Didn't shoot a dog.
No, sir.
You didn't shoot a dog.
No, sir.
Was there any gunfire, whether it's on the tape or for some reason not on the tape, of gunfire while Mr. Parsons is coming down the hill?
No, sir, none.
At what point had Mr. Laxton put up the .22 rifle at this event?
After the dog came to rest out in the field, and Mr. Parsons fired his warning shot in the air and yelling observers down the hill to us.
So Mr. Laxton's weapon was already in the back of your truck before any of this happened?
Yes, sir, nobody had a weapon.
You never showed him?
No, sir, he had no idea that I had a gun in my pocket.
And whose voice is that on the tape daring you to take your weapon out?
Mr. Parsons is trying to challenge me or egg me on to pull my weapon, so I felt like he was going to shoot me, like he wanted to shoot me. He wanted an excuse to shoot me.
About the shooting of a wolf,
About a wolf, sir,
which he didn't say.
and which he didn't see.
That's all. We moved to mark the exhibit, I guess.
Any questions? This witness?
Yes, sir. Good morning, Mr. King.
Good morning.
You just gave testimony in open court under oath, sworn oath. Is that correct?
I did.
And you stand by that statement?
I do.
And you're aware of the penalty for perjury?
Yes, I am.
And you testified that you heard the recording just played in open court, correct?
I did.
The entire event, from the time I came down and effected the arrest, or tried to anyway. It never happened because y'all didn't submit. But isn't it true that it took all of maybe 2 minutes?
No, sir, it was closer to 4.
Okay, 4 minutes. Not 15, not 24.
I said it felt like 15.
Okay. Isn't it true, and everyone's just heard it, that at no time did I say get on your knees? Is that not a
He
fact?
told us to get down.
But never said get on your knees. Is that a fact?
Down, knees, I don't know the difference. He told us to lay down too.
You don't know the difference between get on your knees or
I
lay
know the
down?
difference between get on your knees and get down. He told us to get down. Mr. Laxton got on his knees. I never got on my knees. You told him to lay down on the ground.
You're testifying in open court that Mr. Laxton got on his knees,
I am.
got down on his knees.
Yes, sir.
Where were you at this time?
I was standing 3 feet from you.
What were you doing there?
Well, originally I was minding my own business until you approached me with a loaded weapon and pointed at my head.
Where were you, in the hangar?
I was outside the hangar,
Whereabouts at the hangar?
on the east side,
How close to the opening of the hangar?
5 to probably 10 feet outside the hangar.
Okay, sure, you were right at the corner of the hangar.
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Laxton was where at this time, as you testifying under oath still, when you see me, when you first see me, one moment. Please, the court, I'd like to place another board, identical to all the others, but this one's fresh.
I don't know what that means, Your Honor. I don't know if it means it's not an exhibit or what it means.
It will become an exhibit as soon as.
Could I see it?
Yes, sir. Same as yours.
Well, Your Honor, I'm going to object. It's got all these little signs about what Mr. Parsons said happened on this. We got two identical aerial photographs, Your Honor. Getting a bit absurd.
These are identical.
If this is a clean photograph, it already has notations on it.
Yes.
The ones presented by the prosecutions have notations, Your Honor.
I'll go with no objections.
So we'll have to get that authenticated and bring this witness back, correct?
Your Honor, there's an aerial photograph which is identical to the two other aerial photographs, except it has all these items not in proof, Mr. Parsons' little theories about where everything took place. I don't see inconveniencing this witness any more than the full day he spent awaiting testimony yesterday. By coming back, he can identify everything that happened on either one of the other two exhibits. In fact, he has. And there's a third exhibit that just has Mr. Parsons' theory of the case written all over it, and that's why we object to it. But there's no need to call this
The
witness
third
back.
item's not been made an exhibit. You have a clean one without extraneous matters on it that the state's objecting to. You can use that. You can use one of the two that's already been admitted to ask this witness any questions.
May I present this to Your Honor so he can see? The only thing on this is the distances from where people were standing.
Well, I don't know how the distances are arrived at, Your Honor, or...
And that's correct. What I'll have to do is have the witness who presented these from the GIS office come and authenticate these. That's how we'll get that in. We'll have him come in and testify that he created these and put them in the record as official from the GIS office.
Yeah. I don't mind the exhibit being made for identification purposes, Your Honor. There's a lot more on there than distances. They're little cartoon balloons with theories about
There's no theory.
somebody's here,
That-
somebody's there, somebody's there.
Objection. If he's going to testify, let's put him on the stand because there's no cartoon balloons on there. There's distances. There's lines drawn from the points of where they're stating they're standing to houses. I'll be glad to show Your Honor it's nothing more than distances.
The objection will be sustained with regard to that. If you're going to ask this witness where he was standing, he needs to clean, or can use one of the other two that have already been made exhibits.
I'm looking for a position for the easel so that the jury will be able to see it. But we'll be able to present it closer to the jury, I presume, later in the trial. Let's just go ahead and do that now because there's no certainty that we will. I want to make sure that the jury has a good opportunity to see this up close. Okay, Mr. Laxton, I'm sorry, Mr. King. If you would please approach the easel. Push in. I'm going to ask you to take a push pin. I'll leave these right here for you. You'll take a blue push pin. You'll call your choice. Place it where you were standing when you testified. At the time you saw me.
At the time that I saw you,
Yes, when you first saw me.
look in.
Okay. And at that moment you saw me, I was where, take another pin and place it where you saw me.
Pretty pink one.
Okay, and where was Mr. Laxton at this time?
Would you like me to put a pin on that?
Certainly.
At the time that I saw you,
Yes. You did see Mr. Laxton at that time too, right? You were
Yes,
aware
sir.
of his presence?
yes. I'm just trying to make sure you want your story straight. When I noticed you firing your shot in the air, at Mr.
But
Laxton,
sir, at the first time you saw me, where was Mr. Laxton standing?
the first time I saw you,
First time you saw
was
me.
right after you fired your shot in the air.
Put the pin where Mr. Laxton was the first time you saw me.
Mr. Laxton was walking to me from the point of the purple pin to me, probably half the distance.
And where was Brandy at this time?
I'm sorry, who?
The dog that Mr. Laxton murdered, where was Brandy, my dog?
The wolf? The wolf was laying dead in the field when I saw you out in this region right here.
Place the pin.
Use this gold one here. In this area.
Did you ever go out and see Brandy up close?
No, I never saw the wolf up close.
You keep referring to her as a wolf. Is it in your opinion that this was a full-blooded wolf?
As far as I know, there was no collar, no rabies tags or anything on that animal when it went running by us.
Did you look for a collar or rabies tag?
No, sir, I was minding my own business.
Okay, so at the moment you see me, you're saying at that moment, what? I fired a warning shot?
What moment are we talking about?
At the moment you saw me. You understand the question?
Yeah, the moment that I first saw you, you just fired your shot in the air and yelled down at us.
Okay, so at the moment you saw me, I was firing a shot in the air?
No, sir. Right after the moment you fired your shot.
Let the record reflect, the witness just testified that he saw me after the shot was fired. It was the first moment he saw me shoot. Is that your testimony?
Yeah, we're recording it, the record will reflect it, Your Honor.
So the fact is, the first moment you saw me was after the shot was fired, correct?
You fired a shot. I then looked up the hill and you had your weapon in the air like this.
Okay, so, but you didn't actually see me pull the trigger, correct? You just testified you saw me after the shot was fired, correct?
Yeah, to make everybody clear, I did not see Mr. Parsons pull the trigger. He fired a shot in the air. I looked up the hill and he had his weapon in the air like this.
So you don't know if I fired a shot in the air at the ground or a shot at you. You don't know where the bullet went, do you? You couldn't have because you didn't see it, correct?
Well, your weapon was in the air when I looked up
You
the hill.
didn't see the shot occur, did you not?
I don't know how much clearer I can be. The weapon was pointed in the air after the shot was fired.
But you didn't see the